You might be asking who this young lady is. Well, her name is Megan Imirowicz, and she murdered her father by spreading lye all over his body while he was passed out drunk. And the reason she did it was she was pissed off with him because she wanted to go to a hair appointment. And guess what? It was proven in court that she was guilty. And she got 500 days. Just 500 days. Here it is. Michigan teen freed from jail after fatally dousing father with chemical drain cleaner. Freed from jail after spending just 500 days behind bars. This is a travesty. This is one of the biggest miscarriages of justice we could probably have. And her father suffered. She dumped lye on powder as he slept, resulting in severe chemical burns. Amid his hospitalization, he had both legs amputated and endured serious infections, tracheotomy, skin grafts, and kidney dialysis. He survived for just 5 months before he finally succumbing to his injuries. Right. So his legs were amputated. Guess what? She was aiming for his crotch, wasn't she? Now, they'll claim that she threw this at him. But sorry, it's just too well spread. She poured it on him while he was passed out. After a mere 4-day trial, Imirowicz was found guilty of using harmful devices, irritants causing death. So she was found guilty. And she got a mere 500 days. You know why? Because the judge decided, right? Now, we're going to look at testimony from a former friend of hers and her brother, who put nails in the coffin. And by the way, I want to show you this in the comment section, everyone. Where is it here? Well, just a minute. Here it is. This is the first I've heard of this case. I live in Michigan. What a horrific way to die. I feel so bad for the son. Notice when men do a crime like this, the whole world hears. This crime is so severe, it should be countrywide. All the United States should be hearing it. They're not even hearing it in their own state because the media keeps women's abuse on the down low. And this is another thing you don't see too much. What do you hear? This poor kid, my dad drank too much. I was still a very defensive to him. Prayers for Austin. That's the young man's name, right? Austin roommate, right? Continual strength and blessing for Austin. They give positive feedback to Austin, but you don't hear too much of this woman needs to die in jail, or she needs to be put in jail forever, or I hope she suffers in jail. None of that. This hatred towards people who commit crimes is strictly for men, okay? Now, we'll get into this damning testimony from her friend, right? Former friend.
In progress.
How long were you friends?
For about 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years? Okay. Did you go to the same school?
Yes.
Did you live near?
Yes.
And in what town do you live?
Ortonville, or Groveland.
And that's in Oakland County, Michigan?
Yeah.
All right. How far away from her house did you live?
About 5 minutes walking, a minute or two driving.
Okay, 5 minutes walking, a minute or two driving. And did you know?
Okay, she was good friends with this person. We know that much. So she knew what was going on.
I'm going to take you to October 1st, 2021. Were you still friends with Caleb, or with Megan then?
Yes.
All right.
And that's important because you can say she doesn't have an axe to grind, right?
And how old were you at that time?
I was 17.
You were 17 years old?
Yes.
All right. Did Megan contact you that day?
Yes.
When was that?
It was started at 10 in the morning. She sent me a Snapchat photo of her crying, and I asked her what was wrong. And then she said that her dad got drunk and she got upset and she threw stuff at him.
Okay, so she sent you Snapchat, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about Snapchat. How does it work?
Yeah, exactly. So she wasn't like, I think my dad's in trouble, or I think I hurt my father. She's upset that her day's being ruined, right? I don't need to hear about Snapchat though.
All right. So you said you got a photo of her crying.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you talked to her then.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you converse with her?
I said that, what's wrong?
Well, let me ask you. Did you send her a message?
Oh, yeah, I texted her on Snapchat.
Okay. And you said, what's wrong?
Yeah.
And then she said what?
She said that her dad got drunk and that he didn't care because she had stuff to do today and she threw stuff at him.
Okay. Do you know what was special about that day?
It was her birthday.
Okay.
Okay, so the picture has been painted. She was angry at her father because she had stuff to do today, and the guy, he doesn't have a license at the time. He had to do the driving, and she got pissed off with him. And of course, what'd she do? She spread lie all over him. And they claim she also put water on afterwards. So this isn't just I threw stuff at him. This was done on purpose. She poured it on him, okay? And I want to look at her photo. There's two things. One is this is an adorable baby face. And so you know that being an adorable baby face girl does not change the fact that you are a psychopathic monster. Okay. And two, the expression on her face is one of defiance. This is a fuck you face. So this girl is a complete psychopath. No, this is very damning. It shows you how uncaring she was about her father.
And then she contacted you again, right?
Yes.
When was that?
That was around 3:47 in the afternoon she called me.
Okay. And you talked to her on the phone then?
Yes.
How did she seem?
I don't know. Just normal.
Okay.
Pretty much.
She wasn't crying then, or anything?
No.
Yeah, she wasn't crying at all. She wasn't upset at all. Right.
All right. So this was 3:47 on October 1st.
Yes.
What did she ask you to do?
She asked me to go over to the house and get the credit card information from her dad because it wasn't working when she was at the hotel.
Okay.
So she's sending her friend over to a place where she knows she spread lie on her father. And she just wants credit card information. She wants money to spend. She knows she's going to go over there and find him in this condition. I mean, this is a complete psychopath, right?
Okay. So she was already at the hotel, to your understanding?
Yes.
All right. And the credit card was not working?
Yeah.
What did you do?
So I went over to the house.
All right. Did you ask her any questions about that?
No.
Okay. Were you about to leave anyway?
I was going to go to the hotel, so it was just going to stop by and then go.
All right. Now, you said you lived about 1 or 2 minutes away driving.
Yeah.
Did you drive or did you walk?
I drove.
Okay, we'll get to the chase where what kind of condition she found her father in when she got there.
It was on from where you were.
It looked like it was on his head, on his chest, on his hands, on his stomach. His legs looked very green.
Okay. You said green?
Yeah.
All right. How did that make you feel when you saw him that way?
Very ill. I started to panic because I had never seen anyone in a state like that before.
Did you know what had happened at that point?
No.
Okay. Did you say anything to him when you saw him that way?
Yeah, I said, "What's wrong?" And then he told me his hand hurt, and then that's when he reached it out, and all 5 of his fingertips were that red-purple color, and his fingernails had curled up.
Okay, his fingernails were actually curled back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Holy shit. His fingernails curled back. And his legs were green. That's why they amputated. In other words, the gangrene looks like it set in. So again, she didn't just throw stuff at him. She was spreading it on him, and she aimed for his crotch. That's what they don't mention, right? They don't mention what his member was like. They just talk about his legs. So, I mean, this is absolute cruelty. Oh, by the way, they also tried to do the old, she was abused by her father trick, right? But this young lady shows absolutely no fear towards her father. She's been around her for 5 years. She doesn't claim that he was a mean drunk or that he was violent or anything like that.
Were you scared?
Yeah.
Okay. You knew Mr. Imirowicz pretty well.
Yeah.
Right. All right. You've been around him a lot.
Yeah.
Did you care about him?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were scared for him.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you do then?
At that time, he asked me to look for his phone, and so he pointed to like the desk table area, like next to the couch.
Yeah, I think we've heard enough of this. I'll put this in the description box, and feel free, please, to watch the whole thing, because I want to get to her brother, and her brother supports what she has to say, right? Let's see what we got here. 12-minute mark. He echoes his sister's lack of concern for her father.
He can't, and
Oh, by the way, sorry for his reading. He's not a good reader, and he's reading off a script, so listen carefully.
couldn't remember as he was at the hospital. As he got emotional. Also, when I was at the hospital, Megan called knowing I was at the hospital and wasn't concerned about him, only asked about how to get his credit card to work. I told her I don't know and I don't care. I am at the hospital, and she got mad and hung up.
Okay.
There you go. That's all you need to hear. How do you get the credit card to work? That's all that she was concerned over. She's not even concerned about her father being found and what kind of danger is going to be put in, right? I can see why, though, now, because you got lousy 500 days, right? So we know what's going on there, right? And she gave her sob story. But before that, let's get into the prosecutor. He does a bang-up job of showing how this young lady was definitely guilty. She was completely uncaring. She was always switching up her story. We'll give a listen. Again, it's 40 minutes long. So for brevity, I'm going to play a little bit of it, and I'm going to put it in the description box so you guys can watch the whole thing. Now listen to him.
Little on his lower legs, talking about the white stuff. You know, how would she know that if she didn't do it? Right? She knows where it went, and she's still trying to pick herself because she says there was a blanket in the way, which is absurd. Most of it didn't go on a blanket or on a couch. It was all over it. We saw. The back of that one leg that's in that photo was completely black from heel up to the end of the leg. So most of it didn't get anywhere on the couch. And we saw the couch. There was a little bit on the couch, right? There was a little bit on the blanket. But look at his body.
Exactly. So she didn't throw it on him. She spread it on him. Exactly.
Do you know what that stuff was? It looked like something for the tub or something.
You never use that stuff to clean the tub? So like drain the hole, like lie.
Like when I think it's for toilet. I think it's for one of them. It's like my dad uses it sometimes to like the wash.
Do you ever use that stuff to clean the tub? I think my dad does. You know, like Drain-O-Lye. Do you ever use that stuff? I think my dad does. I think he uses it for one of those things. I think he uses it to clog. I think she means declog. Right. But she knows exactly what it is. Okay? It's 10 minutes, 41 seconds, 10 minutes, 54 seconds.
Crocodile tears, crocodile tears.
You know what that stuff does to someone's like skin? You don't know? What do you think it does? It feels good if you have that Draco type of stuff on your skin.
Do you know what that stuff does? You know what it's like to have that skin? Do you think it would feel good to have on your skin? This thing is easier to hear via headphones. I don't know if you're going to be able to have any in the back. So there's really two options here. Either she says something very, very quietly, or she doesn't say anything of that at all. Which would be the only time that she doesn't answer a question, basically, in this whole interview. Right? That suggests to me that she knows that it's not going to feel good. Because, of course,
Yeah, look, he just destroys it, right? And I'll let you listen to it at your own leisure. that I'll just skim ahead to see if there's any more any other things I'd like to add. This is the most replayed.
You know, this is one of the parts, I think you can see kind of the frustration of the officers here, because she's still trying to pretend that she had no idea if this was going to be a bad thing, right? But there's no question. There can't be any question. When you watch the video and break it down slow, and you think about what you're saying and actually take each little bit by bit, it is extremely obvious that this is an action she did, that she knew she did. She knew what she was doing. She knew what she threw. And it's absurd to suggest that she thought that this would be just fine.
Okay, so again, that's as much as we'll play there. And of course, here's this one where she gives her crocodile tears, right? And she pretends that she loves her father.
Those we don't wish for, and most are never imaginable. Sorry. Yet we face them anyways. 19 years ago, I was placed into the arms of the first man to ever love me. The man I'm lucky enough to call my dad. Growing up, he became so much more.
Okay, you have to be a complete psychopath to read something like that after proving that you don't give a shit about him. And this is the scumbag judge that gave this girl a mere 500 days. A mere 500 days, right? Now we'll go back here because this segment is all about her. Or they give a softball interview. They don't ask, how does it feel to get off jail, get away with murder? So let's hear this.
This is in the sleeping father death case, as Court TV has exclusively obtained the moment that Megan Imirowicz was released from jail. Take a look at this. This happened Tuesday, just hours after a judge sentenced her to 1 year in prison. She got the credit for the time that she served.
She got the credit for the time she served. So she put in for a year, but since she was already in for 500 days, they said she already served it. Now, guys, listen, how many times do you know that a guy gets, put in jail for a possible crime, and he's there for several years before he's finally sentenced? And then they add the sentence onto that. Here they're crediting her with it, right? So she doesn't have to spend any more time in there.
Since her arrest, Megan was greeted here by her brother Ian and her sister Morgan, as well as a family friend.
Wow. When girls commit crimes, this is what I'm telling you, they never get any real blowback. She has family members thinking, oh, why do I give a shit about dad?
And the timing of her release was such a surprise, our producer had to shoot this video on her phone for us. Imirowicz, as you remember, was found guilty of the unlawful use of harmful irritants, chemical drain cleaner that she threw on her dad.
There you are, with lye and water. So she didn't just throw something, she spread it on him, and then she got water to put on it. This isn't just done out of anger, right? Exactly.
Mixed it with...
And it wasn't an argument because he was passed out. So it's not like she argued with him and got passionate. She just thought, this little scumbag passed out. So now I can't get to where I want to go. Time for him to die.
Water in the process, and it resulted in severe burns and ultimately organ failure and his death. Now,
Look how happy she is. I'm free. My dad's dead, but I'm free.
Earlier, Imirowicz cried while she was reading to the judge her statement asking for mercy. And she shared with Court TV, get ready for this, Courty friends, she shared with us that another very well-known inmate helped her write the statement, Jennifer Crumley. That's right.
By the way, I don't know who Crumley is. She's going to explain.
Mother of accused school shooter Ethan Crumley. Yes, Jennifer Crumley, who's still facing the pending charges, accused of giving her son the gun he used to do that shooting. Apparently, the two of them became good friends, best of friends.
This is another thing that should really burn your asses, guy. When men get thrown in jail, the male inmates, you look for any excuse to destroy them. Not because they always make this moral stance when really they just hate other men. But these female criminals, they get along well with one another in there. They don't give a shit whether you murdered your husband or a baby or your sister, because their attitude is, I'd do the same. Even in prison, women's lives are easy mode.
Friends in the jail. Who would have thought that would have happened? Well, Megan spoke to Court TV, giving us her reaction to the sentence and some insight into what happened the day that she tossed those chemicals on her dad. Let's watch.
Tell me what your reaction was when tell me what you were thinking when she pronounced sentence.
I was shocked. I definitely didn't think that she was going to give me a chance, but
Look at the big smile on her face. Even she didn't think she'd get a chance. Yeah, you know, these judges are given power. This girl was found guilty. There's absolutely no excuse at all to get a mere year in jail over this. This is incredible miscarriage of justice. I'm not going to show this. And notice in this segment, they don't show her brother or her friend that testified against her. I don't even know what her father looks like. I don't even know what her father looks like. Notice the victim, the male victim, he doesn't even have an identity for us to look at. Male victims are meaningless to society. It's all about her. This is the star right here, everyone. And even all media softballs this. Now listen to what they have to say here, these guys here.
What we like about it. You get a simple case like this. You hear it's just involving two people. A young lady gets mad at her father, throws something at him. You know, that thing ends up killing him down the road. When you start getting into the testimony.
Holy shit, look how she gets mad at her father. She didn't throw something, she poured something on him and she killed him. That's how you say it.
You realize how many things you need to know as a juror, and we all sit here as jurors, to really figure out what happened here. And that's what trials are all about.
This is before she was actually tried, right?
And that's what I'm getting from the testimony. It's like each little bit of testimony says, I have to know more about that phone call. I want to know more about that conversation. I want to know where the bottle was. I want to know what was on the bottle. I want to know what she was thinking. There's all these different questions that continue to arise out of a very simple set of facts.
Yeah, the best lawyers make movies. They make plays. They make dramas. They are better than any director because the best lawyers transport jurors and observers to a different time and a different place. And when you see the real masterful litigators, you don't even have to close your eyes to see.
I don't think I want to hear any more of this. Okay, I do want to listen to this guy here.
Sure what it was, and you get all these phone calls, and she's not particularly concerned about her dad, and that could mean she's just this really callous person, or she's thinking, I just threw some water or some liquid on my dad just to let him know how I felt. She's an 18 or 17-year-old who's getting her 18.
Yeah, they're making apologetics. They're making excuses for her. Exactly. They're the ones they're covering in and making excuses for her. And as I pointed out before, down here, where was it here? These people aren't even hearing about it. The media isn't even trumpeting it. They're keeping it on the down low, right? This is the first time I heard of this case, and I live in Michigan, right? Everybody's involved. The media is involved. The legal system is involved, right? And where's that judge? This scumbag judge let this girl off for murdering her father and brutally murdering him for no other reason that she get pissed off with him over something trivial. This person, at the very least, needs to be disbarred or kicked off. At the most, she really belongs behind bars herself, right? So the United States has joined the British Isles for just letting women off the hook, 100%. We live in terrible times, guys. This isn't hyperbole. It is now legal for women to murder men. It just is. We're seeing it boldface. Anyone tries to say I'm exaggerating, you can go screw yourself, because I'm not. And this is why the MRM is necessary, a real MRM. Because we need to get our rights back. We're not just trying to prevent them from leaving. We need to get them back. Okay, so we'll end it here.